was recording or not.
Alrighty. Hello, we are back. And that means we can go ahead and get started. So, people are rolling some dice. Okay. So, just a few things, quick things about tonight's game. We're running into an issue on Foundry with versatile damage. So, if somebody rolls versatile damage tonight, I said this earlier, but because it's not working, you're just going to add an extra 2 damage if you are choosing to do versatile attack. Average, that's what it would be about anyway, so no big deal. All right. So with that, let's dive in. Get some sick vibes first. Maybe. There we go. Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay. So, there we go. Last, we had left off the adventurers of the Salamander coast. After departing from Summer's Rest, the party thought that their journey would be peaceful as they made their way down to Belka. Traveling there, hoping to find out more information on the cult of the Dark One and Bianca's lineage. Their journey, while starting out easy and free of worry, has shaped into the exact opposite, finding themselves now outlaws in a snow-covered evergreen expanse. The guards claimed that they were part of the Brotherhood, a group, at least as far as the party was aware, were savage terrorists who sought to destroy the nation of Belliclara as they knew it. Now, as we jump back in right from where we left off, the party, camping for the day after a few nights' travel. Cecily and Ashima are on watch. Full alt scene. Cecily and Ashima are on watch, and as they are talking back and forth, Cecily starts to hear something. Rustling in the trees. Ashima doesn't notice it at first until Cecily points it out. Then they can start to hear everything around them rustling in the trees. Definitely not birds this time. Definitely something else, something different. In that moment, as soon as they notice, there's an arrow that flies at the two of them, slamming right in between them. The small piece of parchment. Unfurling the piece of parchment, there are 3 words written on it: friend or foe. So, Cecily, Ashima, sharing the log, sitting next to each other, the fire to your back. The arrow seemingly came from straight in front of you. You can see that there would look to be 5 arrowheads poking out of the evergreen treetops down towards your camp. So, sitting there, arrows pointed at you, parchment in your hand. What would you like to do?
I would like to slowly turn my head to Ashima and just mouth the word friend.
Yeah, Ashima will very slowly nod, and his posture will kind of hunch a little bit, and he'll put his arms kind of lazily in the air, with his wrists kind of limping by, and say, "Hey man, we're all friends here." It said, brothers and sisters of life would have picked that, but, friends is cool. Friends.
Cecily will raise an eyebrow at him doing his hometown voice, but will otherwise let him go on.
Okay. Ashima, I'd like you to make a persuasion check for me real quick. God damn!
Okay.
Hell yes. Starting strong.
Yeah, it is. Whew. You've only rolled natural 20 so far. Ashima,
well, the first one didn't count. That was a I rolled a 20 before the game. Can I keep it for later?
You also rolled max damage on the die in that one, which is funny. Okay,
Oh,
so...
Yeah. Well, I kept it for later.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'll remember that. So, as you say that out loud, you can see the arrowhead slowly detract from the trees. And in the daylight, you can peer through the trees and you can start to see some movement from in front of you, facing right where you and Cecily were looking out, right where the arrow came from. And you see a large figure moving in between the trees. The piles of snow and the tall evergreen treetops blocking most of their form until they get close enough where you can start to get a clear image of what they look like. Broad, stocky shoulders, covered in some type of plate armor, a red cloak hanging around their neck and down their side. And you can see the crest of Bellaclara, what would be guard armor on their chest, but tattered, scratches, scuffs. And by far, the thing that catches your attention the most is their face. Ashima and Cecily, both of you have seen tabaxi before. Sort of feline-esque creatures. Humanoid in shape, but lithe and thin. Very cat-like. But what you see approach is cat-like, but it has a wider maw, a thicker face, and a large mane of hair that cascades off of its head and around its jawline. Ashima, you would probably be the only one who's heard of one of these, being as close to Thrall and Pylos as you were in Loshar. This is a creature known as a Leonin, a lion man, stepping forward through the brush of the trees. You flipping your arms up lazily, you can see a neutral face, slumped eyebrows, and two beady black eyes staring down the two of you. And a low rumbling voice emerges.
Why have you traveled off the road?
If I need to do insight for that, this is okay. But is there like any uniformity, all of them, or can I only see the Leonin?
Right now, you can only see the Leonin. Just for better eye.
Okay.
Oh, that's even scarier than I was thinking.
Kind of looks awesome, actually.
Well, if you're not being approached at night by it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
All right. Shima will kind of keep up his demeanor. Say, well, I mean, listen, man. Probably comes as no shock that we're not the biggest fans of some of the guards and such. You know, they always like hacks and you drive for everything. Why are you guards? We're not doing anything wrong. We're not hiding anything. I mean, whatever.
You can see one of the eyebrows, or one of the eyes squint a little bit, looking over you and Cecily.
How many of you are there?
Well, there's Brother Poe. He's over in that tent there. I'll point to the tent. Brother Desmond's in there with him. And then we've got... she's about the size of two people. So she's over there. And there's B. She's over there. And there's me and Cecily.
And he kind of looks up to the trees.
would you mind if we share your fire?
Oh, more the merrier.
Okay. So, with that, he is going to go ahead and move over and walk right past you, Cecily. And as he's... Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what were you going to do?
While he's coming to the fire, I'm gonna just lightly rap on the tents and, keeping in the act, say, "Hey, there's some people coming. They're chill."
Okay, so yeah, there's no attention that's drawn, so you can move away and move around the tents and wake everybody up. So with that, everybody does wake up. Luckily, all of you have had a long rest before this, so even though you're woken up before your long rest is exactly over here, nothing too detrimental comes of that. But as he does pass you, Cecily, he does instinctively and continue to move past and go to sit on this crate here. And with that, there are 5 others who make their way towards the camp. You can see one a woman who looks very similar to Poe in skin color and hair color. A little bit more lithe and less built than Poe is. Then you can see another man of darker complexion and a short, pointed black beard with these 2 almost like luminous amber eyes. Then there is a woman with blonde hair with burn streaked across the right side of her face. And then finally, there is a gnomish woman in heavier armor with a darker skin complexion as well, and black hair. She makes her way over here as well. And you can see all of them have a quiver of arrows and a bow, and a spear and a shield. All of the shields matching each other and the Leonin who originally approached. So, with that, as they begin to make your way, all of you can move your tokens wherever you so choose if you'd like to be sitting out somewhere with them.
I'm following Desmond.
Bianca will be upset that she was awoken, but curious why Ishima's talking the way he's talking. She's going to come out and kind of just see what's going on.
And as they do come out, I'll just reassure everyone, like, "Hey, no worries, they're cool. They're cool."
Ishima?
All's well in the world, Poe. You can go back to bed if you want. I think we're just warming up to each other, the fire, the world.
So,
The Leonin speaks up.
you mentioned you were having troubles with the guards. Was that right?
Well, well, there's certain things that, the guards, they don't like, and that we do like, and freedom, not having to pay to walk down the road, frustrating. Anyways, they've kind of taken exception to our ways, and we're trying to steer clear of them. A couple of them gave Cecily over here and Desmond over there a real nasty time.
I hate to pry, but I am supremely curious. A hard time over what? one as young and small as she. I can understand the Dragonborn. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Is we're just out into the woods exploring, being one with everything, and well, I mean, that's what I'm here doing. Maybe the rest of them just didn't want to pay for sleep on a muddy ground that they don't even take care of to begin with. And they come and they nab us out of the camp, off the road, slam us into chairs and start interrogating us. My motto is, if the government doesn't protect you, don't stand up for the government.
You can see the 5 who were here, the 4 others, and the Leonin sort of share a look, and then the Leonin gives a whistle, and you can see another individual emerge from the trees. A Dragonborn. Silver scales begin to approach. Wide and broad, seemingly very, very strong. Approaching wearing breastplate armor. And he sits down on the log where you are, Ashima. And the Dragonborn looks to you, Desmond. Sort of cocks his head. And shakes his shoulders. And looks back to his other traveling companions. And the Leonin looks to the 5 of you and Keothi.
So, you all had an issue with them. They asked you questions and you ran.
I'll let them speak for themselves.
How about you first? Who the fuck are all of you?
Whoa. These are our guests, man. Girl, child, teenager, woman.
No, it's all right. We have been rather quiet.
And he kind of stands and makes his way closer to the fire. And standing in front of it, right across the fire from you, Cecily, he looks down towards you and says,
We are few right now. We were separated from our traveling companions and still need to find them. None of us are as familiar with these woods as we wish we were. But we know there are those in here who seek to do harm on traveler. So our quiet and precaution is to make sure that you are not those kind.
Oh, fair enough. Half of us are unarmed. Not too much to worry about. But we do thank you for what you're doing.
I've heard that there are many people in this evergreen expanse that one needs to be on the lookout for. Heard of men who run with wolves. And bandits who wield swords aflame. And I've heard the most curious tale about undead that roam the wood. Does that sound familiar to you?
Well, We've heard of him too. We ran into ice people last night. At least I think they were people. Might have been dead. I don't know.
They were surely undead. Never seen anything like those.
Honestly, we've had the most trouble with the people that are supposed to be running the place. Not anything out here.
Once again, they all sort of share a look to one another.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. Those who have money and power should try and protect you. It seems a downright shame when they don't. Tell me, if you had the chance to change it, would you?
Change what exactly?
Change the way things work. There are a few powerful, rich people who make the decisions in Bella Clara. And myself, the companions with me, and those we travel with believe that that's wrong. And all of you seem like-minded. So, I asked a simple question. If you could change it, would you?
Depends what the catch is.
And change it to what exactly?
Well, for one, there is no catch. I suppose one could view being on the hunt and being hunted to be a catch. But from your story you've told, it seems as though you're hunted already. And to what, you might ask? Possibilities are limitless. All I know is that what's happening here,
Gesturing out to the five of you, his companions, and just generally out to the air.
is wrong. I come from a land not too far from here, across the dancing sea. Port Limnos is where I'm from. There, powerful people are put into place, but they're chosen by the people. They are chosen by people like you and like me. I was a soldier in my home, and I still had a chance to choose who was in charge. Do you know what they have in Bella Clara? They have 4 families who control almost all of the decisions in this nation. They don't have the same vested interest as a monarch, or an emperor, or a chief. They see you, and they see me, as coins on a table. And us,
Looking to the 5 around him.
all of us, have been broken by it. And we're tired of feeling broken.
You were speaking common before, but now you're speaking my language. Not from Bella Clara either. Wukome City over in Loshar, Pilgrim District.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Kyo isn't from here either. You know, I guess it's hard for us foreigners to pass judgment when we see our own ways as so much more altruistic. Kind of hard to keep your mouth shut, you know? Yeah. Man. Feel ya. I mean, what? 5 weeks ago, I was paraded through the streets of Summer's Rest by an angry mob because I dressed funny. Nah. It's gotta change. May not be the smartest about things, but that's the fact.
Well, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, you're just 6 people who didn't even have a campfire, so what's the plan, I guess?
There are more of us. We share a bond between one another. But as with most families, sometimes you are separated and must find your way back. There are many of us throughout the nation. And sadly, the 6 of us have been separated from our brethren. And all we wish to do is find our way back. But, as I'm sure you've come to understand, these woods are not friendly to any. I saw the way that you looked out into those woods when you heard the rustling of the leaves. And when you mentioned the crystal creatures, we've lost several to them already. We were attacked by 15 creatures. We lost four of our brothers. We had to run. I don't know how many you had to stare down Luckily, there were no captains nearby, so at least I know that they'll be petrified in ice and never have to walk in undeath.
Oh, we never talked about it, but figured you had a run-in with a couple of them too, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We've had run-ins with many in these woods. The Pack, the Scalebacks, and the Crystal Companions. Each encounter dwindles our numbers.
You and your brothers, what do you call yourselves?
We don't like to give ourselves names, as it just gives those in power a tool to destroy us, to create distrust in us. But I suppose you would have heard our name if you lived in a city near where we tried to liberate. They call us the Bloody Brotherhood because of one unfortunate event. In an outpost south near Bella Clara. But to us,
You can see that there's a mellow or a melancholy tone and look on each one of the faces of the 5 others.
to us we despise that name. We actively avoid bloodshed, but even a peaceful animal when backed into a corner will turn rabid if it needs to survive.
So how do you plan to peacefully liberate this nation? And what happens after you liberate it? And what kind of plans do you need to complete to try and turn this nation upside down?
Well, there are many different ideas that are had, conversations to be had still. But most members who have been around since the beginning agree that a type of rotating council should be appointed. Representatives from each of the jurisdictions of Bella Clara. And in terms of how that will happen, well, first, we need to be reunited with the rest of us. Secondly, there is a small town, not but 2 days' journey from here. That town already has the beginnings of it. There are individuals there who see what this nation is, and they see how they have, well, received the short end of the stick, to use a idiom of your people. They grow weary of the rule of the investors, and they want change. Because the one thing we have learned time and time again is that we cannot force change. We must show them the errors of their ways and hope they change their own mind. When they call, we will come.
See him kind of relax for a moment and sit down next to the fire.
So, I ask you then again, if you could change the nation for the better, would you?
We'll look to everybody and everyone else answer first.
Group huddle?
Ah, man, I think
Yes,
this is it.
group huddle.
All right.
Very well. Brothers, let us scout around the area, make sure that there are no eavesdroppers that might wish to overhear us, and that they may have their conversation in peace.
And with that, there are murmurs of agreement from the other 5 that are there, and all of them walk off in separate directions into the woods. As then Eothi will also make her way over towards where all of you are.
I kind of like them. Just saying.
I sure as hell like him more than the guards.
They've treated us a mite bit fair.
Much. And I mean, I don't know how much. You know, I believe the actively avoid bloodshed part, but if that's true, and like, I mean, I'm not a fan of Belaclara's government. Like, I mean, I don't want to join them. We already got enough baggage, but like, I like them.
You really think Belaclara could be changed without bloodshed?
No, I don't. But that doesn't mean I don't like them.
I like their energy, but it doesn't even seem like them asking us, would we want to change this nation for the better? And when we ask, what we would change it to, it just sounds like they don't have it clear.
Okay, well, to be fair, they just met us, and if they told us all their plans, like, clearly they're trying to remain secret. Like, we were questioned, or, yeah, all of us were questioned, and except for Poe and Keo, but, like, they have to kind of keep their plans on the DL, otherwise it'll just slip out. I'm surprised they told us as much as they did, honestly.
Well, I'm not going to join something I don't fully understand, especially if it's a rebellion against a nation I grew up in. I mean,
I don't think.
I have friends I grew up with who are guards, and if I'm ever in a situation where I have to fight or kill, it's not in that situation. This just doesn't feel right to me.
I think a symbiotic relationship that's temporary with them wouldn't be out of the question. We want to survive in these woods, and as do they. We want to avoid the law temporarily, and as do they. I'm not suggesting we join them by any means. I think that is a decision that each one of us has to come to in our own heart and mind. What I'm suggesting is traveling with them for a time and making sure some fellow people arrive where they need to arrive safely and expect them to do the same.
I don't know.
The alternative is jumping them now and being slaughtered by them.
Well, also, that makes me
I
feel.
don't know.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, that makes me feel weird if they're trying to avoid bloodshed and we actively make them have to choose that. That makes me feel weird.
My point as well.
I also don't know if they would even be able to slaughter us. I mean, they said that they faced 10 of those things and they had, or 15 of those things or something, I don't know, and they lost 4 people. We faced about, I don't know, 8 of them, including one of those captains. Not that I'm saying we should attack them.
With all due respect, Desmond, you were not face first in a pool of your own blood.
I think you're right, Ashima. I have no problem surviving these woods with them. I think that we'd need it. I don't want to see any of you nearly as bad as Ashima was in that fight.
If they do truly care about protecting the people, then we are the people. If we do truly care about helping those in need, they are in need. Politics aside, I don't think either of us can ignore that.
I don't think so either.
Also, I personally prefer that we know less about them so that if we're ever in a situation like we were back at the outpost, we're not able to, not only like, we're mostly not lying, I guess, because we won't be associated and we won't have any information that's worth their time.
I think that's fair.
But I will say, I go with whatever your discretion is, of course, as I have thus far. But Desmond and Cecily, I could not overhear much from where I was at, but it seemed as though that, even though you knew no information, they would not relent. Desmond had to make up a lie, and who knows what would have happened if they would have discovered its falsehood.
And that's why we took off.
That makes sense. So I guess it doesn't matter how much we know or don't know.
It's just,
Wait.
The past couple times somebody has tried to recruit me into something, it's not been good. Just a little... Look, if strength in numbers, if we need to journey together for a while, sure, but I don't trust any of them.
I don't think we should trust really anyone for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I only trust you guys, and I only want your guys' opinions. And I'm only obligated to protect you guys. And that's where that is.
I believe that's fair. And mutual as well.
Definitely.
So the plan is we're friends, we are not joining, right?
Let's take it one step
Something
at a
along those
time.
lines.
Right now, like Ashima said, they're in need, and we want to help those in need. And
We want to protect the people. We are people.
yes,
Yeah, and at least they're not attacking us on sight like the other shit out here, so...
They seem
At
no
least
more
if we do
offended.
get jumped again, we'll have somebody else.
all right. Let's not keep them patrolling longer than they need to.
All right.
Okay. So then all of you head back to the camp, head back to the fire, and then after a few moments, they do eventually return. Okay. Here. Boop, 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 boop. So they return, and the Leonin speaks and says,
So, what decision have you made?
Well, I think everyone's, I suppose, on the opinion of. Sorry, I'm just reading something here out of character. Second, from our discussion, I think we all have, not much use to you as far as fighters or evolutionaries. I certainly think we all want things to change around here. But for now, I think when we came out here, we wanted to help folks. And I suppose your group wants to help protect the people. So maybe we could travel together. Watch out for each other, group to group. At least for a little while. Make sure you guys get back to your group and go from there.
If that is what you wish to do, you still wish to help us return to the others?
Where are the others?
and you can see the Leonin look to the dark-skinned man with the short, pointed black beard, those amber eyes. And he sort of pulls out a small sheet of parchment and begins to look at it.
If my cartography skills are still holding up, it should be 2.5 days to the east, which sadly is the opposite direction of the village.
I've been speaking a lot for this group, but what do you all think?
So, if we help them, we're going to be out in the woods for twice as long.
I am sure that if you were to make sure that we got back safely, there are others there. Many others. Those who are much more skilled at tracking and navigating through the woods that might be able to help. Our leader, she is...
And you can see the Leonin kind of put up a small hand, and the dark-skinned man stops talking.
there are those who may be able to help. And of course, with whatever compensation could be offered, it would be given. But I will not force your hand one way or the other. As I said, I cannot change the mind of any one person. Do not feel obligated. If you so choose to head west towards that village, there is someone there who I was told when I made my way up north that may be able to help. They are newer to the small town. They have connections to a group of individuals in Giant's Bridge. Their name is Yang So. They work at a small tavern. A halfling, older. They, if you go there,
There we go. Oh, didn't say that. That was me.
if you go there and you find this Yang So, they will be able to give you direction and room and board away from the eyes of the guards. As I said, and as you've told me, you being out here, well, people who travel the woods typically do not do so willingly.
Well, sounds like as good as it gets to me.
Wait,
Suppose we
sorry,
put it to a
Joe.
vote.
Is it we travel to the village with them and help them get there and reunite, or I'm a little confused about the directions and what the proposition was.
No, you're fine. So it would be westward, away from the village, or eastward away from the village about 2 days in order to get where they think they need to be, or it would be westward 2 days to the village, which is where you could go for that room and board.
Okay.
Which isn't Giant's Bridge, I'll say. It's you're still quite a ways away from there.
Yeah, but they will help us get to Giant's Bridge either way, or
Yeah, you would definitely be able to get something if you were to go to the village and talk to this Yang So person.
okay.
But if we do help take them back to their camp, then it's like 2 days east and then 4 days west to get to the village.
Correct. And there might be some time cut off depending on what they're able to provide when they get back to their camp. It'll just depend.
Okay. Well, with that clarity, Cecily will still say what she said. Sounds like helping them is as good as it's gonna get.
And I already casted my vote.
Yeah, it sounds like a fair exchange to me.
I
It'd
guess
be
it's as good
unanimous,
as we're
though.
gonna get.
Well, I must say that you do have my thanks and gratitude. It is not easy moving away from the place you desire to go to help someone else. You have my thanks. Well,
Vance.
I believe introductions are in order if we are to be traveling together. I already know of, if I remember correctly, Cecily and Desmond. My name is Alika. This,
Pointing to, and here I can, wrong. I can edit it so their names appear underneath the token.
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh, nice.
I am
That's gonna really help.
Alika.
And then gesturing to the gnome.
That is Roywin.
Gesturing to the water genasi.
This is Electra.
Oh, that name pop up. Token. Name.
That is Erebos.
Pointing to the dark-skinned man. Always for everyone.
That
Pointing to the dragonborn
is Nadar.
Gonna move my token out of the way so we can see Nadar.
And finally, that is Johanna.
Okay. There we go. Got all the names.
All of us have
Shima will
traveled.
stand. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Shima will stand up and bow and say, "My name is Mishima." Blah, blah, blah. Try that again, Connor. Shima will stand up and bow and say, "My name is Ashima. It is a pleasure to meet you all."
Bianca will give a soft wave. Hi, I'm Bianca.
I am Keothi Anakalathai of Clan Anakalathai of the Hearthstone.
And I am Cecily. That's the end of mine.
I'm Pawasa. But you can call me Poe.
And you already know that I'm Desmond, I guess.
That I do. Well, if I remember correctly, you all were in the middle of rest when we intruded. You have my apologies, but if you all were an enemy, I'm sure all of you understand the importance of striking and gaining the upper hand when you can.
First rule of martial arts. Third.
If you so wish, you may return to your rest. Erebos requires no sleep and can watch. The rest of us require some rest as well.
Well,
Stick up with Erebos, but yeah. So it's kind of like even.
Very well. I promise you
Finish
all.
my watch.
Very good.
And you can see him sort of stand and then reposition himself over towards the crate over here. Sort of lean his back up against it and say,
Thank you all for the service you are doing to help us.
so then, is everybody just returning back to their rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay on the log.
I'll continue my watch with Ashima, I suppose.
Team will
Alright.
scoot over.
Oop,
Hey, there we go.
took you a spot.
Bianca will also chill by the fire, now knowing that Ashima and Cecily are also on watch, but she'll chill.
Mhm.
Less alert.
I'm going the fuck to sleep.
Please enjoy.
So with that, you can hear Electra, Johanna, Electra, Nadar, and Alika. All of them had to sleep, and you can see Johanna and Roywin sort of curl up next to each other and head to sleep. And then Erebos just he steps a few degrees away from the fire and just sort of stares out into the darkness, and every once in a while will pace around and look a different direction. And after doing that for maybe half an hour or so, he'll come back down and sit in front of the fire and just stare into it, sort of his shield resting on his side and his spear resting over his lap, looking into the fire. And every once in a while, he'll just sort of look over to you, Bianca, and then look back down into the fire.
Do you normally not need rest? Or is this like a one-time thing, you just don't need rest?
For quite some time, I have not needed rest. Maybe 5 years about. I believe 5 years in a couple of months.
Changed.
Many times in our lives we go through a metamorphosis. Some it is more drastic than others.
Fair. What else changed besides not sleeping?
And you see him look longingly into the fire.
I also lost my appetite for most foods. And all foods, really. It has been a difficult transition.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. you know, those are kind of things people enjoy, so
Yes. Do not apologize. It was my own fault. There is no one to blame but myself. It is a burden that I must carry.
fair, but you can still feel sorry for someone, even if doesn't matter whose fault it is, their reality, you know.
That is true. That is a good bit of wisdom to have.
If you want more wisdom, talk to Ashima. He gave that real chill guy attitude, but he's got some really inspirational stuff.
How are you aware that my aloof demeanor was not a form of wisdom and a lesson to you all as well?
Maybe it was.
Man.
I do recognize the name. I have never met one in person, but I have heard the name Ashima before. I take it from your young age that you are a student.
Of many forms, yes. One, very briefly, under the tutelage of Master Bernardino, the Drunken Master.
Yes. He continues to stare into the fire. And then after maybe 5 or 10 minutes of silence, he stands back up and he makes that same patrol, sort of walking out, looking, and then making his way around. He'll eventually make his way back. And sitting a little bit closer to you, Bianca.
And
Please do not take me for being rude. I have met many tieflings in my life. But most of them do not have eyes like yours. And the only reason I ask is because most humans do not have eyes like mine.
yeah, the only other human I've met with different eyes is Cecily. Hers are kind of, I guess, glassed over a little bit. Yeah. I get my eyes from my dad, actually. He's not human.
It's interesting.
How'd you get your eyes?
They were a gift.
I like unique things like that on people. It's like wearing a story.
I enjoy your optimistic attitude. You kind of
Thanks.
smile and chuckle.
Yeah,
And
you kind of got to be optimistic in a world like Bella Clara, and I'm sure you're familiar with that.
very much so. Very much so. I am going to go and scout out the perimeter a little more. Make sure that there is nothing approaching from the further distance. And he stands and gives you a small smile, Bianca, and makes his way off into the darkness.
He's nice. That's Felicity.
So, with that, Bianca, Shima, and Cecily, the three of you were really the only ones awake for quite some time if there was anything you wanted to talk about as everybody else was resting.
Shima will also remark, he's nice. I agree.
Cecily, nah. Cecily's gonna.
That's fair.
She's expressed her hesitations already, so.
When the time comes, Ashima will, like when his watch would end, he'll go and take a rest.
Okay.
What time is it roughly?
Honestly, you guys started camping in the day, so I think by this point it'd probably only be, because your entire plan was to travel at night, I think it'd only be like noon or 1 p.m. right now.
And when did we start sleeping?
Probably 8 a.m.
Okay.
So you still have a few more hours. I will say, as Ashima heads off from the rustling, the one of the others does get up, the Dragonborn Nadar, and he sort of rolls over, and he sort of stands and looks around for a moment, and says,
Where is Erebos?
He went out. She's going to point in the direction she last saw him go. He went out that direction to check around. I don't remember how long ago.
Well, he is a fan of being alone.
kind of sit down in front of the fire.
I just need to warm my bones a bit. I'll never get used to the cold.
Yeah, Desmond doesn't like it either, except for he's new to it.
That's a peculiar name for a Dragonborn, isn't it?
I guess so. I didn't think about it too much. I haven't met a ton of Dragonborn. I never really asked him about it.
I wonder
Life just got crazy and we just kind of accepted whatever it was as what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder which monastery he studied at. It is.
Yeah.
So I take it you have not known each other for long, then?
Yeah, no, actually. Really short while, I guess. We all met in Summer's Rest for very interesting reasons and got stuck together for interesting reasons, and now we're out here in the forest for just as interesting reasons. And you probably wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I suppose not. Most stories are that way. It is interesting, though. Imagining the possibilities. However, I'm sure that one might have the same questions about how we all came to be. And I can assure you the story is most likely as equally as ridiculous as yours.
I was looking around and wondering that, but I feel like I I can't really judge a group of people based on my group of people that I'm with, so it does make me curious, though.
Well, curious indeed. Curious indeed. Well. You can see them just kind of think for a moment.
Sorry.
And then not say anything, almost as if they're about to say something, and they just kind of stop talking.
Well, what monastery did you study at?
I studied a monastery in Afera, of all places. I was an only student. There were... I don't know. It's odd any time I think back on my schooling. As a silver dragonborn, I should be acclimated to the cold. Should be easy for me to traverse, but I grew up in a jungle, surrounded by hot streams and rainforests. My body can't stand the cold. Well, regardless, I think that my bones are warm enough to head back to sleep. Thank you for the conversation. In the meantime.
Thank you.
And Nadar stands and sort of eyes the tent where Desmond is sleeping, and then makes their way back to the small cot over here.
Bianca's gonna go by Cecily.
Okay, so Cecily, Bianca sits down right next to you.
Well, I'm not going to be so dramatic that I get off of this very nice log, just so I don't have to be next to someone. So, I'm going to stay on this log.
Interesting people. And I'm a little nervous. I mean, I like them, but I'm nervous.
Do you think we look this scary to strangers?
Probably. I mean, you don't. But Poe and his weapons, me and my weapons, Keothi and her size. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and even Desmond. I mean, he's small, but Dragonborn are known for being skillful. So if he's in a group with us, it probably looks intimidating. And you should be intimidating to people. You can really fuck some shit up, but not that people will know it right away.
Yeah. Kind of wonder if we should bother getting to know them a little more, or if we should just keep our distance the next couple days.
Well, trying to not say too much, but I don't know, we're already in this deep. Kind of a fine line to walk.
Yeah. Shit's never easy.
No, but I've been wondering, Cecily.
Uh-oh.
Where were you wanting to go anywhere? Are you looking for anyone? I mean, I know Dranor found you, but I mean, this is kind of all the way back to when we were talking about where we're going to go, but now I'm thinking about, how off track we are about everything in our lives, and I'm thinking about everyone in particular, especially Poe, but Yandashima, oh my gosh. I guess I don't really know. I'm glad you're around, but what were you planning on doing? Do you have anything that you want to do? That's kind of ruined by what's happened, I guess. I don't know.
Well, like I said, just don't take me to Water's Wake. That's all I got.
There's really nothing else? Nowhere you wanted to explore in the world? No one you're wanting to see again? Nothing you're trying to find?
Well, there isn't anyone to see again. First. I don't know. I mean, I didn't even know that the world was big at all until about a month ago. Didn't think I was good at anything until, well, still don't most of the time. I'm just here, trying not to fuck up.
I don't know why you keep saying that. Because really, in every bad situation we've been in, with me and Oshima and Poe probably down, and then often Desmond, I guess, is literally you're there to help us. And I just don't know what you mean by fuck shit up. I mean, I didn't know you for a long time, so I'm sure, maybe you had some bad people in your life, but I've not seen you fuck anything up in the entirety of me knowing you. Like, you're really careful, actually. And pretty smart and think on your feet. And like I said, I don't know you as well as other people probably do from, I guess, Water's Wake, if that's where you've been, but based on my interactions, I have no reason to assume you were a fuck up ever.
She'll just kind of look at the fire. She doesn't really know how to process an adult figure saying something nice about her, so she'll just kind of stay quiet.
Well, now that you know the world is big, maybe you'll find something or hear of something that you want to go see or do, or whatever. So if you ever want to do something, just let the rest of us know, because clearly we're pretty flexible. I mean, now we can't work within the law, but we became outlaws pretty quick, so we'll do whatever.
Yeah. Have you ever shot a horse before?
Ooh, why would I have? Besides the reason that we had like 2 days ago, I have never had a reason to shoot a horse.
I mean, I'm just asking because you kind of just did it. I mean, you really. Jeez. Do you want to be an outlaw? Were you itching? Is this like a deep down thing you've always wanted?
No. I guess, I mean, I hunted with my dad a little bit. He really wanted me to know how to protect myself and how to take care of myself. I kind of mentioned it before, maybe not directly to you, but he was a warrior and he's pretty cool, actually. So when we meet him, or when you meet him, I've met him, bleh. But I don't know. He's awesome, and my mom is super sweet, so she'll take care of us. And yeah, so I guess maybe that's the instinct that came out of me when we were in danger, was kind of like my dad teaching me how to not only protect myself but just be a protector. And I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. You and Desmond had just gotten back and everything was really tense. And it's just the first thing that I thought. I was like, okay, get the horses down, then they can't chase us. Oh, I don't know. And I'm not like Ashima. Like, I mean, I want to be nice to animals. I have no reason to like hurt them. You know, I'm not sadistic, but they are food, you know, like they're animals. I don't see them as equals. So I guess I had no problem doing it, you know? Sorry if that freaked everyone out. I didn't really think about it.
Why aren't you like other adults? Is that a weird question?
I mean, what are other adults like
I don't
to
know.
you?
Rules, like a stick up their ass and think they know what's going on and they don't, or pretend they know how things work because it makes them feel better, and I don't know. I mean, you're just like hanging out. Like, no matter what the fuck happens, you're just hanging out. You're just, oh yeah, Bianca. Like, what?
Well, thank you. Pretty sure that was a compliment.
No, not quite.
Okay. Well, never mind. I'll take back my thank you then. I guess I don't really. I mean, I don't think my parents are that much like that. They're not like rules and stuff. I mean, kind of, but I know what you mean. Like the general adult that's bossing kids around or think that they have the right to. You know, I really wasn't a kid that long ago, and maybe that's it. I also don't. I mean, I see you as younger, but I don't see you like a child either. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I wasn't a kid that long ago.
All right. Look, about you saying, I'm not fuck up. I mean, you're wrong, but, thanks, I guess.
You're wrong, and you're welcome.
Okay. And on that note, eventually, the rest of your companions begin to stir awake right as sunset is curling across the sky. As all of you prepare, packing up what supplies you have here, along with the help of your 6 new companions, as dusk falls, and as you get prepared to head east to wherever these companions need to go, and then traveling west back to where you want to go. We're going to go ahead and take a break right there because that is a really, really good break point. So, thank you so much for watching so far. If you are, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Man, I'm always afraid I'm going to say your name wrong. I'm just going to call you Yar because that's the part that I can pronounce on there. So thank you for the resub. That's awesome. And also for the cheer. That's great. We appreciate you. If you're watching so far, I and all of us greatly appreciate you. We hope you're enjoying it. And yeah, we'll be back in 5 or so, maybe 10 minutes at the most. So tune in and we'll be right back. All right. Farewell. And if that's the case, if everybody's ready, we're going to jump back in. So, howdy, everyone. There once was a fantasy group in Illica. Runaways. All right, I'm going to stop that because that's a tragedy. Literally the worst thing that's ever happened on this Twitch channel. That's
not true.
Yeah, the worst thing was Bianca straight up murking 2 horses. Oh, wow.
No, hold
Yeah,
on.
I'll
The
take that
worst
one.
thing. Remember when we started this charity stream and we went, just hear those sleigh bells ringling, ting ting tingling. Come on, it's lovely weather to play The Last of Us 2.
At least that made sense as a rhyme.
I guess.
Because mine was just dissonance. Like, it was just the noise you hear when you know that something's wrong, but there's no noise happening. If that makes any sense.
Like when you read 12 exclamation marks and your brain goes... your brain just clenches.
Okay, so we are back. So thank you all for hanging out during the break. If you got some snacks over the break, please drop those in the chat. We'd love to see those snacks. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Lisa in particular for the friggin' modern day art that she's done of several party members from different campaigns. I think the only one she's done from this group is Desmond and Poe. But she's done a few others, and I recommend, if you'd like to see more of those, go join the Discord and check those out in the respective campaign folders, or text channels, because they're really funny. I love them a lot. They're so kawaii, because that's just Lisa's style. And I'm pretty sure Lisa should be asleep by now, hopefully. But yeah, thank you, Lisa. Okay, alrighty. So I think with that, we can go ahead and I think we can go ahead and
If you're not, go to sleep, Lisa.
do not go to sleep. I need sleep. Okay. Well, Alsayar, I think I got that right. Alsayar, thank you so much for resubbing, and also yes, go to sleep. Thank you so much for the kind words.
I'm assuming.
Thank you so much as always. You're awesome.
What'd you say, Mark?
I said I'm assuming it's Al-Sayar.
Alsayar.
I said it was a.
Yeah, let's go. Aesthetic thing in there. I'm happy to know how to now. Cool name.
Okay.
It is a very good name.
Yes. But I think with that, we should go ahead and roll the intro and then get started. All right.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
hate it. I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it.
Just feels so unnatural.
Part of me wants to.
It doesn't
we're
look
back, by
right.
the way. We're back.
The Runaways, dazzle dazzle.
I want to explain what they were talking about, but I think it's almost better if we don't address it.
Always.
Well, Bianca's turning the fire brown as we speak, so
Oh God, no!
Why? No.
Bianca,
it's
no!
brown now.
No.
You know,
Chocolate fire.
Chocolate fire.
Chocolate.
If fire eaters got to eat chocolate too.
I can.
I was like, is that brown?
You'll rot your teeth on chocolate fire.
I feel like there's already enough reason they have to ban me from the UK. I think doing my Christopher Lee impression will just I'll just arrive and the Queen, Her Majesty's Royal Service will just assassinate me. Being like, don't impersonate Christopher Lee.
Oh, but
It's illegal.
But your impersonation is so good. Say chocolate. You can do it 10 times better than me.
Chocolate.
it gets me every time.
I don't know. It's probably not as good as I think it is.
It's better than mine.
Tell you what.
I'll tell you that.
3 a.m. we're watching Lord of the Rings, and it was 5 a.m. watching Lord of the Rings, and Joe starts cracking up, and I'm like, "What? What do you want?" It's 5 a.m., Joe, and he says, "Connor, say chocolate again."
You want weird things when it's 5 a.m. and you're only halfway through. You're only at the end of the 2 towers. You're like, God, please end it all.
Remember during?
I want to do it.
I'd like to.
Oh
but-
please. Do you remember during the charity stream when Trouble just started staring at me, and it was like 4:30 a.m. and we were losing our goddamn minds?
That was the funniest.
I was like, Trouble, you can't look at me anymore. I need to focus.
And he didn't stop.
Oh man.
Oh God.
Can't wait to go through that pain again when you stream God of War.
Oh God, I'm so excited.
Oh.
I'm so excited. Yeah, stay on the lookout for that. Another 24, probably 26 hour, because God of War is a little bit longer than Last of Us Part 2.
is.
So probably
It definitely is.
26 hour live stream. But you're better at staying awake than I am. I think if I'm playing the game, I'll be better.
Mhm.
But damn, man. It's rough
Yeah,
being
you
in
were-
the other seat.
You really were slipping toward the end. I'm not looking forward to the final hour on the
No.
other perspective.
I went back and skipped through the final hour. I was asleep for like 20 minutes of it, where I was just asleep
Yep.
on the couch on stream. Oh, God. Okay, all right.
Pretty funny.
The craziest part is I already rolled the intro, so now we have to start the session, start it from the break with that energy, so that's good.
It's good energy.
Yeah.
It'll be like old times.
Yeah. So, picking up where we left off, the group of adventurers, the runaways, have now convened with this subset of people from the Brotherhood. A group of individuals who wish to free Bella Clara from the... Excuse me. Whew. That was rough. Thank you. That are looking to free Bella Clara from the chains that hold it down, that prevent normal people from rising up in the ranks, and keep the wealthy elite investors on top. That Brotherhood found them purely by chance, and then discovering that they had been attacked by those crystal companions, overwhelmed by their numbers, and eventually had to run away, leaving some of their own to perish behind them, knowing that they were outnumbered. So, with that, they convened with the party. They explained their situation, and the party decided to be on the right side of helping them, and offered to take them back to their base of operations, wherever that may be, about 2 days east of where they currently are, and then reconvene there, discover some type of information that might be able to help them, and then, from there, go to the town that is 4 days west of that base. So with that, all of you wake up in the morning. Cecily, Bianca, you sort of finish your conversation and then begin to mull around and just do some mindless cleaning before eventually you are ready to depart. So with that, you begin to pack up your items, and all of the 6 of them, Alika and all of the rest, they do help you pack up and gather any supplies that you may have as you get ready to head off. So you can see that as you are getting ready in the morning, that Erebos did return quite some time ago. There he is. Turned quite some time ago, and you can see that him and Keothi are actually talking a little bit, just holding out their different maps, and Keothi says, "Oh, no, you see, you have the wrong landmark there. You'll want to change that," and trying to help Erebos just a little bit fix his map, so whenever they do get to where they need to go, they'll have a completed map. And so the 2 of them talking back and forth, fixing that map, and you can see the rest of them doing some morning rituals. You can see Alika definitely doing some morning stretches and exercises before you get on the road. You can see Nadar is currently kneeling and praying. His shield off to his side and the spear, the piercing end plunged into the ground. You can see Johanna and Roywin talking back and forth to each other in hushed whispers, and you can see Electra currently leaning up this stack of logs, just flipping a coin in her hand and then catching it, and then seeing what it lands on, and then flipping it again and catching it and seeing what it lands on, over and over and over again. So, you can see their kind of morning rituals until eventually all of you are ready to go, and Alika sort of looks to the five of you and Keothi and says,
So, do you have a navigator of sorts, or do you leave that up to her?
looking to Keothi.
Well,
did.
Previously, we just picked a
navigate.
direction and went. Keothi is probably our best bet, though.
Very well. Hmm.
And everybody starts like turning to Alika and Electra and all the others. They start to turn to look at Keothi, and Erebos is the one who notices and just kind of looks over at everybody looking and sort of whispers something to Keothi, and Keothi goes,
Oh, everyone is looking at me. Did I do something wrong? Was I speaking too loud? Sometimes I do not understand the...
No. We were just hoping you'd help us navigate.
Oh, of course. Erebos here seems to be at least vaguely gifted in navigation and traversing through the wilderness. Our powers combined, we should be able to arrive safely, avoiding any great danger, at least in terms of spinning around and not knowing where we are.
and Erebos sort of gives a nod.
So then, if all of you would like to head off, we can.
All right.
So, with that, you begin to head off. Your camp packed up. You all begin to head out and away, making your way through the snowy forests of the evergreen expanse in the darkness of night. The snow falling and seemingly never stopping, continuing to pile on top of inches of snow, beginning to pile up on inches and inches and inches of snow. So, making your way through the night. It seems as though traveling by night is quite possibly one of the safer ways to do it. And between Erebos and Keothi, they're able to navigate fairly well, making sure to avoid anything that is well known to one degree or another as someplace that may or may not be dangerous. From what information Keothi knows about the histories of the area and what Erebos had received from any people, any contacts that they would have had before. But you begin to make your way through the night, and you travel for maybe 4 or 5 hours. And Desmond, as you are walking along with everyone, and I'm going to go ahead and throw everyone's tokens on here just so I can kind of understand what a marching order might be for all of you. Oop. And oop. So, why is Keothi's token not drop? There we go.
See Oshima. Maybe it's not in my window.
Nope. There you go.
Okay.
Well, Cecily prefers middle or back, usually.
I'll go to the front then.
So if Erebos and let's see, Keothi, you're right up at the front. You can go ahead and move your tokens wherever you might be. There.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I had to zoom out a little
Okay.
bit. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, Evan, were you trying to go there? Right where I put Bianca? Because you can. if
No,
you want.
I was keeping the order that we just had on the right. I figured Poe would be somewhere. He can't be in the front. He'll be somewhere in the middle.
Oh, okay. I see.
Sorry, I have to
Oh.
edit these again. For some reason,
Did you want to stand next to Poe, Cecily?
No, I want to stand behind Poe and seethe at him. I want to still be mad.
Wah.
Boo hoo.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I wrote for Cecily's backstory. Actually, I've just been making it all up. It's just boo-hoo.
Wah. I love Electra's art.
Wah.
I love
Wah.
Electra's name because I love the concept of a water genasi with electricity and maybe her weapon or something. I don't know. It's super cool.
Oh.
Because she's a conductor of the vibes, man. She flows through it all, letting the energy go through her, man. Just
When we
like
were
that.
on break, I got a
dropping the act
notification
again.
from Pinterest that was like, here are some ideas that you might like. And the first one was that picture of Electra. I just thought it was funny.
Oh, that is funny.
That's funny.
You know, should we really be assuming she does electricity stuff just because her name is Electra? You know,
And
like,
I
what if
yeah.
that's just her name?
Well,
That's
my
just her
name is
Connor stuff.
Song, and that means blood, so it works.
Do you do songs? Do you not
I
do
didn't-
songs?
I don't sing. No, I do not do songs.
Do dance?
Do dance?
Do dance. Bianca do dance.
What if Electra's name was just Lightning Sword? That's just her name.
My
Imagine if
parents
that's
are
like-
really into tabletop RPGs.
Imagine if we named real life people like that too. Like, imagine you just had a child that was very like happy and personable and cared about everyone's feelings, and you're like, let's name them a name that means like happiness or joy, and then like, oh, Felicity sounds good. Like, imagine if we like named, like, Imagine.
True. Like after the baby was born, and but the thing is, like,
Can you
what
imagine
if?
not having a name for a few years until they
Yeah.
figure out what personality you have?
Or maybe it's like elves, where you have your child name and then your adult name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or what if it was like Warrior Cats? Already referenced once
Oh
today.
yeah. Oh dude, I love
Nice.
those books. Loved those books.
Dude. Ember Kit, Ember Paw, Ember Mane. Maybe one day he'll be Ember Star.
Can I not control?
But does that sounds like exactly.
was
what
like
Ember
Dune
Mane is
and-
Warrior thing.
What if it was like Dune?
There we go. Whew, sorry, I was just trying to select all 12 tokens, and that was proving to be quite the issue. Okay.
I feel like I want to get to know Roywin a little bit, but I think that's probably just because we're both short.
So
I feel like there's probably like, yeah, I feel like there's solidarity. Like I know your world more focuses on nation and culture as opposed to racial, cultures. But I feel like all just short races are just like
I feel you.
Yeah, there's
She's my.
there's
Stools
definitely
blow,
solidarity.
right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes sense for there to be like solidarity without there being systemic privileges and oppressions, right? Like,
Yeah,
even if there's not a greater cultural scheme that like advantages certain races above others or whatever, like we have in our nasty world, like I still feel like see somebody who resembles you in your walk of life, and you'd be like, "Oh, hey." So,
Okay.
like at this point, running into a short person is just like running into someone else who went to Catholic high school.
Free information.
You're like, "Oh, hey, sweet."
Alrighty. There we go. Whew. Okay. So, as all of you begin to make your way, Desmond, Electra makes her way up next to you. And you can see the, like, very short, very curly hair. And you can see that, like, embedded into each one of them is these small, what almost look like pearls, that are just kind of either braided or embedded into the hair somehow. And she kind of like makes her way up to you, and she's very quiet, very similar to you, and she kind of looks you up and down, and she says, so I hate to presume, but you strike me as someone who might like to gamble, maybe just a little bit. Are you not
No.
Oh, you're not a betting man?
You know, I'm all for a good competition. And if, some coin or some items is put up for grabs, I mean, all the better, right?
Okay. So you see, betting works very similar to competition. Where pretty much we compete, but the biggest opponent is not you or me, it's chance. And chance will side with whoever they do, and whoever chance side with gets to take the pot. So, let's just say
what type
that
of chance are you thinking?
I have a coin here. This coin, right here, is something I've had with me for a very long time. And it tends to be that this coin likes to side with me. So, for your sake, I will put it away and I'll pull out a different coin. All you have to do is say heads or tails. And we'll start off small. 1 gold piece. If it lands on heads, I get your gold piece and get to keep mine. If it lands on tails, you get to have your gold piece and you get to take mine.
Can I try to look at her coin to see if it's like a rigged one? Like if I don't know if I'll be able to see it the way she's holding up the
A rigged coin. Make an investigation check. It's one of these rigged coins.
You know what I mean? They're like they have the same.
Yeah.
They have like they're like I don't know what you call those types of coins.
So
they could be weighted.
So, with a 15, you can see that it's not the same. It's not both heads or both tails. There's a heads and a tails, 2 very distinct marks. You can't exactly feel it right now. But as you're just sort of twirling it around, you don't see any odd distribution of weight on one side or the other. Both materials and textures seem to match each other pretty well. But other than that, nothing seems too odd about it.
I'm in. 1 gold piece, you say?
1 gold piece.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Now, I originally said that I was heads, you were tails, but I don't know. I now see the cruel irony in that. So if you'd like to switch, you could be heads and I could be tails.
My tail's always done good by me, so I mean, I don't see any problem with that. And I assume your head's always done good for you, so.
That it has. All right. Here we go. Well, you know what? It's my coin, so why don't you flip it?
Okay.
All right. And see, as she's talking to you, there's always just this cocky smile on her face. All right.
Does she look like she's about to pull a fast one on me of some sort?
Make an insight check.
Insight. Is there a thing for insight? Is the eye that's perception?
The eye.
Insight,
Got
there.
eyes on the inside. Oh, damn. Okay. You
Low
are...
stakes to roll a natural 20.
Yeah, very, very low stakes. But you recognize this glance. It is one that you are quite familiar with. One you've given to people, but in particular, it's very reminiscent of Nicola, in terms of the way that whenever he was about to pull a fast one in you, the way that he would look. Where it's not condescending, but it's just, I gotcha. Well, what are you waiting for? Flip the coin.
I'll play along.
Okay.
I'll flip it.
Okay, so you flip it, and you catch it, and slam it on your fist, and you can feel the grooves of the coin. Should be tails. It should be tails. It's up right now. Should be your money, and as you lift it, and you look down, it's heads. You felt the grooves of and you flip it over, and the other side is tails. But you felt the tail side. She looks at your palm. She says, "Oh, well, I guess it's just any coin that does right by me and not just the one. You know what?" And she smiles at you and... Why don't we say this one's on the house? And who knows, maybe you can try again another day when you're feeling more lucky, huh?
I like you, Electra. You remind me of an old friend of mine.
I wish I could say the same, but the only Dragonborn I know, she kind of lowers her voice, is that one with the stick up his ass over there. He never likes to play the games, but... who am I to judge? You know what? Why don't you keep that one? I feel like you could put it to good use.
Tell you what, you want to make a more interesting gamble?
Oh. I think I would.
I'm going to lower my voice. I give it till 3 hours until Cecily, the little one back there, yells at somebody. 5 gold pieces.
Now, am I allowed to interfere, or do I just have to sit back and wait for it to happen?
Well, chance is our biggest enemy, you said.
All right. I'll take your bet. She seems a little feisty, but, I like my odds. 5 gold, you said?
I'll reach out my hand. 5 gold.
All right. Oh, she'll reach out her hand and shake. 3 hours. No yelling. This is possible. She just kind of slinks back away from standing next to you and just kind of stands next to stands next to Johanna and right next to you, Cecily. Just kind of fades back, and at first you don't even notice her, but she just begins to walk next to you.
After that, can I try to conjure my mage hand without having anybody see me?
Make a sleight of hand check. I think the highest passive perception is a Shima with a 13.
Yep.
Well, Keothi
Yipper.
is a 15, but...
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Okay, nobody notices you.
Well,
I'm gonna try to weave it in between everybody, and I'm just gonna reach it up and pull on Cecily's hair really hard.
Tactical disadvantage!
Okay, so
All
easy
right.
enough. The mage hand swirls around, and then Cecily, you feel something tug on the back of your head very, very hard.
And just, oh, fuck! You know what? I'm calm. I'm fine. Because I know
And-
who did that.
And Electra looked down at Cecily out of the corner of her eye, and then looked up at you, Desmond. And there's just a shake of her shoulders, and she walks back around towards you, and slaps 5 gold into your hand. Says, "Good game, but."
Instead of putting it in my hand, I'm gonna present the mage hand in front of her instead.
She goes to smack it down, and then sets the gold in the mage hand, and says, "Good game, but." He looks back towards Cecily, who's just trying to be calm, but is fuming with anger, and says, "Well, I don't like your odds of survival right now."
Had worse with her.
And with that, she'll laugh, and she'll walk back around. Well, she's right at the end of the line, and you can continue to hear that flicking of the coin. Tring! Hearing it smack into the back of her wrist as she's walking.
So
So-
was she doing that thing earlier where you have the coin flip between all of your fingers?
Yeah, she was.
Okay, Desmond's gonna try to teach himself how to do that because he wants to be able to do it too.
Okay, alrighty.
Lose a coin in the snow.
Real quick, make a dexterity check, just as your first time trying to do it. See how successful you are first time around. Okay, so it's not that bad starting off. It definitely is a lot harder where you're able to get 2 or 3 good flicks, but it's still a little hard to keep balanced. Definitely some practice is going to be needed.
Sweet.
So, you all continue to make your way down the road. For the most part, traveling rather silently, as nothing else is really coming out to attack you or anything like that in this current moment. And Alika does make his way up towards the front, towards Bianca and Ashima and Keothi and Erebos, and says,
I would like to inform all of you, from what intel I have, the closer we get to the fort, the more likely it is that danger will be imminent. Many of those who exist out in these woods who are not followers of our creed, they do not like us very much. They would prefer to see us gone so they may be in charge of their forests on their own. So be on the lookout.
Well, good to know. Thanks.
with that, he takes a step back as you're walking along, and he stays back there. So you continue to make your way through the woods, and it's odd. Every once in a while, as you're walking over the course of maybe 4 or 5 hours, every once in a while you notice that you're kind of, there seems to be like a cobblestoned path or brick-laid road that appears every once in a while. It's very sporadic, and it seems as though it's almost been broken or a lot of the stone's been removed. But every once in a while, you do notice that there was some type of like man-made road that wasn't naturally formed here before. Not just people walking over it over and over again, but actually, laid cobblestone or brick that somebody intentionally put here. But you continue to walk, and eventually Keothi and Erebos, they sort of stop dead in their tracks, causing everybody else to stop behind them. And Keothi sort of turns around to you, Ashima and Bianca, and says,
I think I hear someone. I think I hear someone ahead. I am not exactly sure, but...
And Erebos turns around as well, and he says,
No, I heard it too. I heard it as well. Oh, I hoped I had mistaken, but I don't know exactly what it was, but it sounded like...
Erebos finishes the sentence.
It sounded like whimpering.
Perhaps we should send a couple quieter amongst us to scout it out.
That seems like a good idea. Electra! Come here.
And Electra makes her way up towards the front. Says, what is it? What's going on? Why did we stop?
There was a noise ahead. You and another from their group will be going forward to investigate.
And
Bianca
then,
will turn back to Desmond and kind of just fill him in. Do you think you can maybe go check it out with Electra?
I'd be happy to.
You're the sneakiest out of all of us, so.
Hear that, Cecily?
Uh-huh.
Not a competition. Just be safe. Thank you.
Not a competition. Whatever.
And please, whatever you see, don't get involved. Just back.
all right. Then she kind of looks to Alika, and he just nods his head. Very well. Well, lead the way, Desmond. And so the two of you begin to head off to where the noise was. So, over there. All right, there you go. Collapsed everybody together. Perfect. So, two of you begin to make your way away from the group and towards where that noise was heard. So, what I'd like you to do, Desmond, is I'd like you to make a stealth check, and Electra will make one as well.
Can I add, ability checks to the little MMO bar thing over here?
Ooh, I can probably figure out a way to make a macro for it. That would be pretty easy. Oh, yeah. That's not great. She is going to use a point of luck and re-roll that. There we go. Okay. So, she sort of pauses, and you can see in that moment she is, the two of you are just getting started and getting ready to move closer to where this noise emanated from, you can see that she almost steps on top of a twig that would have made a very loud snap. But you can see her foot just stop, and her form freeze, and almost as if there's this shimmer around her, her foot sort of reappears back in a neutral position. She looks down, she steps over that twig, and then continues to follow you about. So, the two of you continue to move throughout the trees, undetected. And eventually, after heading maybe 40, 50 feet ahead of the group, you can see, you can start to see something. So, what you see is there is what looks to be a body that is hanging from a tree. Body is no longer alive. That person is no longer living. They seem humanoid, maybe elvish. There's a small point to the ear, but the body is a very, very deep blue and bloated. You can see that there were parts of their body that were covered in furs and cloaks. But now most of those have just been kind of laid down onto the ground, and you can see that huddled underneath that person looks to be a wolf of some kind. You can see that the wolf there's blood matted onto its fur. It's definitely wounded. There's a couple times where it stands up to try and readjust, but its leg it looks to be injured in some way where it's not able to really move on all fours as easily. And it just paces. You can see every once in a while it tries to knock its head into the feet of the individual hanging from the tree, whimpers, and then lays back down on the ground. And Electra kind of looks over to you, and you can see she has this sort of sick grimace on her face. You think that we should try and communicate with the wolf? I can't feel good about killing it.
I'm gonna reach into my satchel and grab maybe some like dried jerky or something from like a pack of rations. Yeah, I think it's either we try to help it or we'll have to put it out of its misery. Can I look around to see if anybody is near, or if this was just where the noise was coming from?
Make a perception check for me. You can go ahead and make that with advantage because she'll also take a look around with you. Okay. 15. Got it. You sort of look around different trees. You take a few steps back, a few steps forward, and you don't really see anything anywhere. You don't see anybody approaching anywhere. You don't see the wolf's senses peak at all, which would give you some indication. So you feel pretty confident that there's not really anybody else nearby.
I'll move myself, motioning for Electra to follow me, but a little bit further behind, into the wolf's line of sight so that it knows that we're here.
Sorry, could you say that again? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I will move myself into the wolf's line of sight so that it knows we're here. And it isn't like freaked out by like noises or anything.
So she'll follow
I'm gonna,
right behind you.
I'm gonna lower myself a little bit once we get close enough to try to make myself as least threatening as possible, and I'll hold out the dried meat and see if it can smell it or anything from how far away I am.
So you get into its line of sight, and you can see as soon as you sort of break from the trees so it can see you, it does sort of shoot up. It doesn't move at all, but it shoots up, and you can see it kind of snarl, and then as soon as it puts weight on what looks to be its front leg, it just kind of fumbles over onto the ground and then yelps out in pain and then tries to give a half snarl, but it just can't get up and move as aggressively as it wants to. So it just eventually gives up and just sort of falls off to the side and just whimpers more.
Okay, I will walk up slowly, and I will, once I am about an arm's length away from it, I'll crouch down, and I'll hold out the meat for it and see if it'll take it.
Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me.
Oh.
Okay. So as you reach your hand out to try and give it the jerky, it does try and take a bite out at you as just this foreign person, but it can barely do anything. So that bite attack is going to be with disadvantage. So, it's a 14 to hit, which I believe
Yeah,
misses.
my AC's 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it lashes out to bite you, but you jerk your hand back. The dried jerky still in your hand, as it just sort of lazily and just sort of still leaning on its side. And you can now, even though it's partially frozen, there still is this disgusting smell that is emanating from that body. And you can see Electra sort of pull a cloth over her nose and mouth to block some of the scent. And you can see that, like I said, that all of the appendages, especially the fingers and arms, all the way about up to the elbow, is almost completely frostbitten. And seems like with just a simple snap, you could pop one of them off. But it still has that putrid, rotten corpse smell hanging from the tree. But the dog bites out, lashes, and then recoils back to its position.
Okay, so instead I'm gonna toss the meat in front of it instead of holding my hand out and see if it'll eat some of it.
Okay, you can go ahead and make another animal handling check.
Before I do that, I'm gonna look back at Electra and say, "Are you any good with animals?"
I used to have a dog when I was growing up. I could try.
Okay, I'll stand back up and slowly, and I'll hand the meat to her.
Kind of leans down on one knee, just scoots a little closer towards it, the jerky in her palm. She stretches out her hand, and normal. See what it do. 13.
Better than mine.
So stretches out, and the wolf does lazily just sort of reach up and then grab the meat and just chew on the jerky. But seemingly has not changed its mind about either one of you.
Do we go back and tell them, or do we?
I guess so. Because it's not like we can reach up there towards whoever that used to be. I think would probably try to protect it still. So I think that those are our only options, are again to put it out of its misery or go back and let everyone know. But I think the more people we have, the more frightened it's going to be.
She kind of looks back towards where the group would be, and then looks down at the wolf.
Well, if you think it is best to put it out of its misery, I know I talked a big talk earlier, but I can't do it.
I don't particularly want to either, but I mean, it's hurt, it's cold, it's separated from its pack. I don't know if there's much we can do for it. I don't know if it'll let us get to its wounds. Cecily has a spell that can put things to sleep, so that's the only other thing that I can think of. And with how weak this wolf is, sure, it wouldn't take much.
Yes. Rowan is a healer of sorts, but I don't know how keen she would be on healing a wounded animal.
How far away are we from where the group was? How far did we walk?
Only 50 or 60 feet, not too long at all.
Well, I guess it does no harm to go back and ask the group for their opinion. I don't see anything else in the area, and I think the wolf would be a little more on edge if there was anything.
You go. I will stay here with it and try and keep it calm.
Okay.
And so
I'll head back to the group.
She kneels down and just continues to look at it. So you head back. Making your way back to the very large group of people traveling throughout the Winterwood. And you can see Erebos sort of look as it's just you coming back, and he says,
Where is Electra?
She stayed ahead. What we found was a body hanging from a tree, dead, smelling of death like nothing I've ever smelled before. But and I think it was one of the group who have the wolf companions. There was a wounded wolf standing underneath it, I think, looking over the body. Still alive, barely, and we didn't quite know. We figured that either we'd have to put it out of its misery or try to heal it, and we wanted the opinion of the group before we made that decision. It didn't seem like anything else was around, but
as soon as you finish your sentence,
quite apprehensive.
As soon as you finish your sentence, Nadar pipes up and he says, well, if it is a member of the pack, then it's an enemy, and it should be put out of its misery. Keothi goes,
Well, but it is still a living thing and deserves respect. I'm sure that you have been separated from ones you care about, and it did not feel good, so maybe we should not be so quick to judge.
I mean, it's also an animal. It's not like it has a particular moral character. I mean, if its master is dead, who's to say that its allegiance is still with whoever it was? If we can heal it and make it...
Well, why do we have to do anything? Is it in our way?
I mean, no, but otherwise it's just going to sit there and freeze to death, and I wouldn't feel exactly right letting that happen. I think, as far as I'm concerned, the only courses of action are to put it down or to heal it and let it go on its way. Let it acclimate itself back to the woods, I guess.
Wolves live in packs, so us healing it wouldn't help it. It would just die a different way.
She makes a fair point, and then turning into the Brotherhood group, you all have had far more interactions with these wolf tamers than we have. Do you all propose?
Alika sort of looks up to all of you and speaks and says,
The pack, they are druidic in nature. They form a strong bond with nature and beasts, specifically wolves. I share no love or admiration for them, but the thing that is most interesting is it is not the human that tells the wolf what to do. It is the wolf that tells the human what to do. Wolf is the alpha in that situation. But I can tell you that this is out of character for the crystal companions or the scalebacks. You said hung from a tree. Correct. The body was hung from a tree.
Yes, they did mention that.
I believe that this member of the pack must have challenged an alpha. And he lost. So they strung him up and left him hang and freeze to death. Yes. This wolf formed a strong enough bond with his companion that rather freeze to death than form a new one.
How about we go take a look then? It's probably not good to leave Electra by herself.
I don't know if all of us should go at once. I think it would. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but if we're trying to keep the wolf calm, it did take a snap at me, but it's quite wounded. But I don't know if we should crowd it. It also smells fucking nasty over there, so just a heads up.
Well, if we're debating killing it or saving it, I'd like to at least meet the creature.
Okay. I'll lead everybody in that direction then, or whoever wants to follow.
I'm gonna follow distantly. I want to keep my eyes out. I have a gut premonition that this might be a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know
will
that for sure. I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, Bianca will just be another pair of eyes as well, kind of keeping an eye out. Everyone knows her opinion already, so she's not really going to help with that.
Yeah. I think Bianca and Ishima are at a point now where I'm just gonna give a nod and we'll just go out together from the
Yeah.
outskirts.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So the two of you hang out near where they are, sort of the middle group between where everybody else is staying and the rest of the group, leaving Keothi and then 5 of the other Brotherhood members behind. And you two stay in the middle, and then Poe, Desmond, Cecily, and Electra are up near the wolf. So, Desmond and Poe and Cecily, as you are approaching, you can see... Let's just see how this breaks down. Ooh, yikes. Okay. So, you can see that as you're returning, you can see Electra reaching in to try and pet the creature. But it is not a fan, so that's just going to be a normal attack. Luckily that's a 7 to hit, which misses, so it goes to bite again, and she yanks her hand back and is breathing pretty heavy as the 3 of you make your way up towards there. And the wolf does notice and kind of tries to stand up and look towards the 3 of you and growl, and this time it is able to stand, but it puts more weight on the other 3, so it just kind of...
And is it standing like underneath the body? Or as if it's trying to defend it, or is it just whatever?
It generally, yeah. It's right next to it right now, where you can tell that it maybe would have tried to be nudging into it a little bit ago, but is right next to it. So it's not right underneath it, as Electra was still trying to pet it, and she kind of takes a few steps back, so she's maybe 10 feet away from the wolf. As you 3 approach, she kind of makes her way over and around towards all of you and says, I maybe should not have tried that, but I don't know. I just feel terrible for the creature.
Well, we already know a few things. If it's going to be here this long with whoever they might have been, then we at least know it's loyal, and that's pretty honorable. Poe is going to try and move a little bit closer to the wolf.
Okay. Moving closer, it does seem to not like it, but it does allow you to move closer, maybe within 5 feet before it'll even try anything.
Okay. I want to. One second.
Oh, you're good.
All right. I couldn't do what I thought I was going to do, but I at least want to try and calm it down, and at least make sure my hands are visible, and at least try to get it to know that I want to help it, because I want to try and use lay on hands on it.
Okay. If you are going to try and get that close, I would like you to make an animal handling check for me, though. Okay. All right. So as you reach your hand down towards it, you can see there's the wolf whisperer.
Beastmaster Paladin.
Yeah, right.
You can see the wolf begin to bare its teeth and growl, but you approach slowly and calmly. You're not shaking, you're not nervous. And you feel a connection of a sort. It's not words. It's just feelings. And you get sadness reaching towards this wolf, and anger, and love, and sadness. And as it shares that connection with you, you see it kind of slump its head into the snow as you reach in, placing your hand on its fur and casting Lay on Hands. How many hit points of Lay on Hands did you want to use?
I want to go ahead and use 8.
8. Okay. Alrighty. That is actually enough. Get it back up to full. So, you cast Lay on Hands, and you can feel that wound that was right on its stomach, a bite mark. You can feel the wound begin to close, and the wolf sort of looks over towards you, and now you get this feeling of confusion. Happiness, but confusion. And it stands, and you can see its light to put weight on its arm. But then it puts weight firmly and looks up to you and sits on its hind legs, cocks its head at you, and you get confusion and happiness, and then it looks up to the owner, the person hanging from the tree, and there's sadness, and looks back to you, head still cocked, with confusion.
Well,
It seems to really like you, Poe.
well, figured the least we can do is not let other people's politics get in our way. You know, for our group, Desmond, Cicely, I think we're on the same page where we help those who are in need. And also, this just clearly is really sad. And I think the wolf is clearly sad too.
Can we keep it?
I guess it's up to the wolf to choose.
It might be a little risky. I mean,
But it
if
also provides a wonderful advantage in the woods.
Yeah, but if we don't want to get involved in other people's politics, maybe we shouldn't take the weird wolf people cult's wolf.
I
I don't think it
already
belongs to the cult
made our
anymore. I
choice with
think
that
it
when we
chose to
decided
stay here and die.
Fuck, I mean, if you can convince the other people. They seemed kind of sure that this thing was worth letting die, so.
Yeah, but I think it says a lot about them that they didn't even bother to come and meet it first.
Well, that's why Electra and I wanted to get the rest of the group, is we didn't have the heart to do anything drastic to it. I'm glad you're back with us, Poe.
I'm really glad to be back too. You guys have no idea. Just, I don't know if this is the time or place to say it, but I also don't know how to bring it up later. But I'm sure it's really, really, really hard to accept, but I missed you guys from the moment I left Bianca's. And I wish being back involved going to a tavern and having a nice dinner again, and or just hanging out at Bianca's, but you know, undead things, crazy rebellious strangers, and apparently Bianca kills horses now, so
We'll make the best of it either way. If I move towards the body hanging, I'll try to move towards it a little bit. Does the wolf not like me doing that?
It's definitely focused on you. The closer you get to the body, the more focused it becomes on you.
If I reach a hand out to try to take it down, is it gonna be upset? I'll slowly reach my hand out. Like, is it tied with a rope?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Is it just like a single strand of rope hanging from a branch, or is it like a pulley type system, or?
It's a pulley type system.
Okay. I feel like we should take the body down, but also if it hits the floor, I think it might just kind of shatter.
Oh, that's fucked.
If you cut it down, I will hold on to it as it falls. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel very bad for this wolf.
And you can see her take that layer of cloth that she has and pull out another one and put it on over top of that.
I think I'm ready whenever you
brave.
are.
I'll help if she needs it.
I'll go over to where the rope pulley meets like the ground or whatever, and I'll take out my dagger, and I'll say, "All right, you guys ready?"
As ready as I'll ever be.
Yep.
Okay,
let's
and
do
then
it.
I'll whoosh through the rope.
And with that, with Poe and Electra, they're able to hold on to it and then set it down onto the ground. And you can see the wolf just move over towards the body and lay its two front paws on it, and then just sort of lay down with its two front paws on it and set its muzzle down on its two front paws, laying on top of the chest of the dead human, or of the dead individual.
Is there like
You know,
a
with everything
bag or
going on.
anything?
A bag or a what?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I was just wondering if there were like any identifying things that we could like, or documents or anything in like pockets or a satchel or something.
No even investigation check needed, because the body's been practically stripped clean. Really the only thing that's on there is a pair of pants and a pair of boots. Even the cloak and whatever warmth was on there has been completely removed now.
Okay. What were you saying, Poe?
given everything going on and where we are in the situation we're in, at least we can keep doing good things.
Yeah, sure. Well, Lectra, hope you enjoyed hearing all of our personal feelings. Guess we should walk back now.
I love hearing personal
I'm
feelings
gonna-
for what it's worth.
Not much.
I'm gonna take out some more of that dried meat and lay it on the ground near the wolf in case it needs something else to eat before we go, and then I guess we'll meet back up with the group then.
Okay, alrighty. So with that, you leave the meat there. You can see the wolf look up at you, Desmond, and you get a feeling of graciousness and thanks. And then as soon as it's breaking away, it returns to sadness again, and then the connection is severed. As you make your way back to the group.
Is the wolf following them?
No.
So the wolf was just left there.
Mm-hmm.
It chose
Okay.
to be there with its owner.
As all of you return, Nadar says, "So, what did you decide to do then?"
Poe healed it. We brought the body that was hanging down, and the wolf is mourning right now.
Yes. You can see Poe Keothi looks at you with a very big smile. Thank you, Poe.
It's just what we do.
Okay. So, with that, there is a moment of silence. Then Alika says, "So, should we continue forward?"
Yeah, why not? We're losing moonlight.
Yes, we are.
And so with that, the 12 of you continue on your way. So you continue marching along for maybe another hour or two until eventually you can see there's a little bit of a change in terrain where it's still evergreen trees covered in snow, but there starts to be more of a terrain difference where there starts to be these larger plateaus and jutting out valleys of rock all along your left side. On your right side, it still manages to stay pretty hilly and flat in most areas, but on your left side, the rock definitely does jut up more. So, as you are making your way, you can also see that the road in front of you that was sort of sparingly appearing back and forth, you can see that it starts to become more visible. It becomes less disturbed or less broken in pieces. It seems to be fully formed and functioning, at least in this area in particular. So, as all of you begin to make your way through the road, you can see that there's a path ahead of you where the road forks, where it seems that in one direction it starts to head northeast, and the other direction seems to head straight east. And as you get to that fork, you can see on one of the ledges, there is an individual who appears on top of one of the ledges above you, maybe 30, 40 feet above where you're at. And as their head pops out, you can see that they are wearing leather armor. They have a leather cowl on, and then a bow in their one hand, and arrows and a quiver behind them. And you can see that on their armor there are these small scales that are shimmering in red and blue. And anytime a snowflake falls on them, what now?
Oh shit! I said, oh shit.
Okay. There's a little bit of steam that rises up whenever a snowflake hits one of those scales. And you can see that man step out. And let me go ahead and pull you all to the scene. So, everybody should be there. You can just barely see this individual right there. You can see the token sort of peeking out right there. So I'll put him right there so you can see it. You can see him standing up, like I said, maybe 30, 40 feet ahead of you. And just barely peeking his head out, a voice rings out through the small sort of canyon area with the ledges above you to your left and in front of you, and then the sort of hilly rise of trees to your right. And the voice shouts down at you.
If you intend on passing, best throw down any valuables you have on you before you head whichever way you want to go.
And you can see Erebos sort of look up and Keothi look up and then look back. Keothi looks down to you, Ashima, and Erebos looks to Alika. And then Alika sort of looks down at you, Ashima.
Produce. I will hold up my left hand, and with my right hand, I will produce, the two. Damn it! There's.
Just had to be train time. It just had to be train time. God, I hate this apartment so much.
It sounded awesome.
Well, I guess I'm the only one allowed to talk right now.
So Ashima steps forward. And he removes the bag of mushrooms from his bag. Oh.
And he holds them out in front of him and just drops them. This valuable thing I can offer you.
Wait, are these like the psychedelic mushrooms, or like the poisonous can kill you underground mushrooms?
These were the seeing color, smelling color, and
seeing sound,
hearing vision. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, you want to say psychedelic, but yes.
Okay.
Seeing color and hearing.
Alrighty. So you drop those down on the ground. You drop them on the ground, and then you say,
"Oh, this is the most valuable thing I can offer you."
The man standing on the ledge says,
"That's one. But I think that I said drop everything that is valuable."
That is all that I own. Perhaps you shouldn't rob poor monks who live off of only the clothes on their back. I only give you the beam of a moon, but alas, I cannot.
And he sort of looks at you and shakes his head and then looks to Alika and Poe.
What about their armor? Looks nice. Well made. Could
It
use
is
that.
well made. Not happening.
Takes off. Presume he's got a coat on. Takes off his coat and says, "There you are. Valuable armor against a deadly foe."
Shima, make a persuasion check, but it's gonna need to be.
I'm not intending to pass. I'm.
Okay. All right.
I really thought that 3D die was gonna roll over to the 20 for a sec because it was close.
Same.
He looks down at you, Shima, and he says,
I don't want no cloak. I want their armor.
and Alika sort of looks back to you, Poe.
He said no. I recommend you drop your weapons immediately and surrender. Your kind have had many interactions with the Brotherhood, have they not? And many times they have lost. Our numbers grow every day. Soon, very soon, we will wipe you away from the Evergreen Expanse. I give you one opportunity. Leave now, never come back, and you can leave with your lives.
So Alika's
I
doing a deception check. Or intimidation check.
Okay. Cool.
Alika's the man.
Yes, I like him a lot.
10 to intimidation. Damn.
Damn. Well, he's a lion man.
Yeah, he's a lion man. And you can see the hands start to twitch as one of the arms starts to reach up towards an arrow and like knocks it in the bow and shakily pulls it back. And you can see the man sort of grit his teeth and he says,
You know, those Brotherhood, they killed a good friend of mine. Thinking I could get vengeance. And some new armor? That sounds pretty nice to me.
and his eyes start to dart back and forth between the collection of everybody down here. Cecily, I know you said you were getting ready to do something. What do you want to do?
Yeah, at this moment, I'm gonna throw my hands up and just, all right. I have a new deal to strike. And I would like to turn to Alika, and I want to just whisper to him. If you trust me for a second, do you think we can make a run for it?
He's gonna make a perception check. Let's see if he can see anything. Perception. Ooh, that's not as good. Okay. So you can see Cecily as he sort of looks over to you. He looks down each one of the paths. And you see his eyes go wide for a moment, looking down each one of the paths. And he whispers back,
If we are quick enough, perhaps. There are boulder traps set up on each fork of the road. If you have any friends who are slow, or they have a tendency to stumble, they might not be able to escape.
Shit. Okay. Well, I will still, with that terrifying tidbit of knowledge, I will still try to progress forward. I'll keep my hands up. I'll turn back to the guy and just, hey, I don't look like much, but I might have something I could show you. Something that might be valuable. Can just put all this shit behind, okay?
Hmm.
I will go ahead and take one step and see if he does anything.
Okay, so you're standing right behind Ashima. You see him kind of pull the arrow back a little bit, not aiming it, but just pulling it back. And he says, "No, whatever you got, you can show me from right there."
It's not going to look very valuable from far away.
But promise, it's something.
Make a persuasion check, Cecily.
Cool. Also, let me check my inventory.
Okay.
I think this man's scared of a little girl. Nice.
Okay. All right. You. Halfling, get out of her way. Let her step where you are.
I will do so, but you will miss this valuable armor that will protect you against the cold. And he will move with his coat and shuffle along to the right.
Okay. So I will come here.
Okay.
Could I get there, or is that like on the wall?
Yeah, at that point, you'd be like climbing up the wall. Because like I said, he's maybe 30, 40 feet above you right now.
Okay. That's
So
a little high.
From right there, you'd probably be looking at about 40 feet since you're kind of going up that diagonal angle.
Right. This might not work awesome. That is okay. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
It's
Let's
been
hear it.
very cold.
Mm-hmm.
So before we left Summer's Rest, I bought chocolate that glows in the dark.
Okay.
And I'm assuming it's still solid.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna just pull out one and just hold it up. And I think they just have like dim multicolored glows.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what the Escobar guy said.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I'll just hold one up and just, you know what this is?
What is it?
It something that I found all the way in Summer's Rest. It's well, the guy that gave it to me said it's there's a story in it. It's a story stone or something like that. Doesn't look like much, but apparently there's magic in it that if you look at it for long enough, you gain powers. I've not activated it yet, but I can show you if you want me to.
Cecily, go ahead and make a deception check for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
+5.
All right. How's it work?
There's going to be 4 lights that come out of it. And you and I just need to do our best to follow them very closely.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to pretend that I'm focusing on charging it or something.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use subtle spell, meta magic.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cast dancing lights. So there's going to be 4 dim balls of light that come out of it that I can move up to 120 feet away from me. And my goal is to move the light basically somewhere over here. I'll just ping over there.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of gradually move them around and slowly move them and hope that he does what I say and is paying attention to him. And then once he's turned around enough, we can all just start moving and hope that buys us enough time.
Okay. Alrighty. So you can see that he sort of follow very intently due to your 2 checks, very intently staring at the orbs, looking around them. And eventually they get up to eye level with him and they begin to float behind him. So he begins to turn his head and he says,
When am I supposed to start feeling something?
I'm not sure, but you're supposed to just focus really hard, so you let me know when you do, but don't look away.
I think I can feel something. I think I can feel it in my fingertips. I can feel the magic. I can.
That's good. That's good. He said something about that. Just stay focused on them. This is the best thing we can offer you.
okay. So it seems like he's pretty committed to it. Staring at them, focusing intently. His back is now to you, and at least right now there's nobody else that you can see who's paying any attention to you.
All right. So I will just continue as I'm talking to the guy. I will just make a little, the military motion that people make when they're like forward, like that thing.
Knife hands,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do that. Yeah.
Okay. So, make that motion, and it seems as though everybody, they sort of nod, at least the 6 of the Brotherhood do, and then I'm assuming all the rest of you do as well.
Which we taken?
Yep.
Which way we're going? Which way are you pointing?
Well, I was gonna leave that up to the Brotherhood people since they have a bit of a better idea of where we're going. But I assume we'll all go down the same fork.
Yeah. This fork right here is the one that leads to where you want to go.
Okay, perfect. So I'll wait for Alika and the other ones to start moving to the right, and then I can slowly adjust the lights a little more to the left once we all start moving as well. And if everybody just like hugs the wall, like the right side wall, then hopefully we'll be good.
Okay. So, as everybody begins to slowly... Wait, where are you going? Where are you going? Chill out.
Yeah!
So as everybody
Game
begins
pause. Time out.
to slowly move up against the wall, and he's focusing in on the lights, you all slowly begin to start moving towards that path, and you can hear another voice come from the top of this ledge, seeing you move, and you see another person appear from the ledge, poking out and saying, "Hey, where are you going? Stop right there!" And are you guys just going to take off?
Sure.
Let's go.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
All right.
Run.
So with that, as soon as that happens, you all do get the jump because that one person was very distracted. So you can move up to double your movement speed down that path anywhere you want. Okay.
Oh,
So let's just see.
well, let me start myself back where I was then.
So let's just
There.
see where everybody gets there. Because
That's not right. What? I don't know what I did. I'm sorry.
oh, you went to
Oh,
the,
why am I doing a circle?
oh, sorry. You want to do okay? So you want to go to your character, and then there's like a ruler, like not your character sheet, but like in where the little person is. There's a little ruler right there that you want to click on.
Yeah, I clicked on it, and then it's doing this.
No, not underneath the person. It is you want to click on the basic controls.
Oh, I'm with it.
Yeah, there
I'm
we go.
just done.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, I can get very far since I'm already up here. I can get all the way up here where I pinged.
Okay.
So
How do I remove that?
Yeah, I can get all the way up there too. Pretty far.
guess I'll just enter the void.
Okay.
Am I
so-
allowed to like bonus action dash, or is that not something I can do right now?
Let's see, because where are you right now? Oh, you're right there. Okay. So it seems like then, let's see, almost everybody with double their movement speed is able to get pretty far. Again, let me Desmond. Alika, he's also able to get right up next to you, Cecily. He is very fast. And then Erebos is all the way up here. Now the only person that is slacking behind is Roywin, and they only get about there. Even slower there. So with that, as the voice shouts out, "Wait, no, stop!" and all of you just boom, dart off running. All of you are able to get pretty far, and you can see the one individual that you were tricking, Cecily. They begin to sort of look around and be like, "Hey, now, wait, cut the line, trigger the trap. Don't let them pass!" And you can hear more footsteps coming from up here as people are scattering, coming towards this way. And Cecily, you can see Alika sort of looks up above where right where the two of you are and says, "It is right there. We need to keep moving." And sort of stops in his tracks and starts yelling at the people to come on, hurry! Yelling out towards all of you. And let's see, you can see that Johanna sort of stops in her tracks and sees Roywin slacking behind and actually turns around, passing Keothi and breaking away from Ueshima to make her way back to Roywin and sort of grab onto her and sort of sling her over her shoulder. So with that, I'd like all of you then to make an athletics check to see if you are able to sort of, with this, Desmond, Poe, Bianca, and Ishima, everybody can make it with advantage, just because you're pretty close.
shoot.
Ooh. Oy.
That wasn't with the. Did you say I could have advantage?
Yep. Yeah, all the party members are really up close and personal. Cecily doesn't need to worry about it because she's already passed it.
Did you say dexterity
I already
check?
rolled once. I'll just
Athletics.
roll a normal one.
Athletics,
So let's
okay.
see, 9
My
or,
boy.
wow, 9.
Athletics. There it be.
Ooh, Poe.
Come on,
With
why is it where it counts?
advantage.
Like where I'm actually like decked out.
Why is it when
stats-wise?
it counts?
It's terrible.
Well, mine's pretty. Oh, fine.
Okay, so then we have
Fine is the word.
strength check for her. She's not proficient in athletics. So, Johanna. Okay, so she's at a 19, so she is able to carry Roywin and is able to get closer there. and is able to get to that gap. Erebos will need to make one with advantage. He does have proficiency in that. Athletics, advantage. Let's see what he does. 17. Okay, so Erebos is good. Electra, not proficient. Strength, ability check, advantage. Ooh, yikes! That is not good. Nadar, he does have proficiency in athletics. Advantage. Oh yeah, Nadar.
Ooh.
Nadar is zooming. He's really getting there. And then finally, last but not least, we have Keothi with her advantage, athletics, advantage. And Keothi. Okay. So with that, Desmond, Poe, Bianca, or let's see, what did Ashima roll up here? 12, and then an 11. Oh god.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So with that, as and then sorry, I just wanted to
Wait,
see
real quick, Joe.
Desmond. Yeah.
I don't know if there's I was reading thaumaturgy. It doesn't look like there's a range. Oh wait, 30 feet. Found it. And I was wondering if the people, wherever they're doing the thing or setting the trap, am I within 30 feet and can I start to cause harmless tremors in the ground for a minute around there and maybe just freak them out and slow them down?
I will say that you can see that the trap itself is just a collection of boulders held up by like a rope trap. So that probably would freak them out, but there's a chance that you might trigger the trap.
Okay.
So it would be a percentage.
No.
So it would stop them, but there's also a 50-50 chance that you could trigger the trap. Because as of right now, as you, Electra, Poe, Ashima, and Keothi are making your way there, it seems like the scalebacks who are making their way are going to beat you to the trap. So it seems like if nobody does anything, they're going to get to the trap first and set it, and you'll be separated from the rest of the companions and Cecily and Desmond.
Okay. Okay.
So it's up to you. What do you want to do?
Okay. Sure. Let's try it.
You're going to do thaumaturgy?
Sure.
Okay, all right. You cast thaumaturgy. What I want you to do is I want you to roll a D100. If it is 51 or higher, the trap triggers. And you all are blocked off from the party. If it's 50 or below, they're scared and they don't get to trigger it.
My palms be sweating.
I'm gonna scream so loud in real life it's gonna be thaumaturgy.
Oh, fucking God.
Okay, so you reach up with thaumaturgy and you channel the energy and the earth begins to tremor and shake, and you can see the scalebacks, they sort of move back from the trap, sort of yelling, no, demon, and they kind of fall over onto the ground. And as you do that, Poe, being the person who's in front, as you run, you can hear rope snap. And as you look up, you can see the trap trigger and this just cacophony of boulders just... And Poe, since you were the one right at the front, I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw as you try and stop and get out of the way of the boulders before they hit you.
I wish I was a druid again. Damn it.
No! Oh, God!
No!
Okay. Oh, my God, Evan, I'm so sorry. Okay. So, Evan, you're going to go ahead and take 2d10 bludgeoning damage, 11 points of bludgeoning damage, and that is not half because you failed. So some of the boulders slam into your arm and into your side, and you can hear... So Cecily and Desmond, along with the rest of the Crimson, with the rest of the companions there, Brotherhood, you can see the rocks have fallen and your path has been blocked off, where Poe, Ashima, Bianca, Keothi, and Electra are separated from all of you, and there's rocks that are stacked maybe 5 or 6 feet high, and you can see Alika sort of look down to you, Cecily, and
Go. Run. I will get them. We will meet you there.
Are you sure?
Yes, I can carry them over.
and he's going to make his way back towards the boulder and begin to scale and climb. And he looks back to all of you and he says,
Run!
and you can see that as there's this moment of apprehension between Cecily and Desmond and the other four up there, you can see that several of those scalebacks, they begin to make their way towards the ledge and they begin to fire arrows down, or these sort of heavy crossbow bolts down at the group of you. So let's see here. Cecily. So there's three of them. They're going to fire three. So we'll just say that's Erebos, Cecily, and Rowan. Just because those are the ones who are there. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Yikes. Okay. So Erebos, that is a 20 to hit. Cecily, that is a 21 to hit. And then Rowan, that is a 19 to hit, which that just barely hits Rowan. So then, let's see what is added on there. Normal. Oh, that's not. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. So, oh, geez. Ay. So, for Erebos, that is 8 points of damage. Minus 8. Then Cecily, that is 7 points of damage, and Rowan, that is 13 points of damage. Whew, that was some high damage there. 13. Nope. Minus 13. Whew. Rowan's not
Before
looking good.
we start running, can I try to, with my mage hand, reach up and take all of the bolts out of somebody's, like, quiver?
Yeah. Go ahead and make we'll say go ahead and make an Arcana check as you're trying to delicately place the mage hand, grab it in the right place, and yank all of the bolts out of there. Damn, okay. Yes, so with that, you are able to reach into one of the bolt quivers and take out, let's see, that would be 13 crossbow bolts. That would deal an extra D4 fire damage on top of whatever the crossbow's already doing. Okay, and these are bolts for a heavy crossbow. All right, so they're thick boy bolts. Alrighty.
I'll go ahead and keep them, I guess, but...
Okay, so that disables one person up here. They are no longer able to fire. And with that, Poe, Bianca, Ashima, Keothi, and Electra, you can see Alakai sort of climb up over the boulders and sort of slippering and falling and says,
Quick, give me your hands.
and he goes and attempts to try and pull each one of you up one after another. So with that, Poe, you would be the first one there?
Yep.
Okay, so Poe, I'd like you to make an athletics check with advantage as he's helping you climb up over the rocks, and there are now bolts just flying down this down this alleyway. Okay, so Poe, you are able to make your way up, but there is going to be a bolt that flies at you as you are attempting to make your way over there. Crossbow. Shoot it. Okay, that is a 14 to hit, which I believe is a miss as you're climbing over. So you climb over, he's able to pull you up and over, almost flinging you over. You can really feel that like legendary Leonin strength as he almost tosses you over. So you now have cleared the stone. There we go. You cleared the stone. Now next up, Bianca or Ashima would be next as he's reaching his hand out and he says, hurry! And at that point...
I'm gonna send Ashima up. Go,
Okay.
Ashima.
All right, I'll toss it. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, each one of the four of you, because you're still there, each one are going to get a crossbow bolt shot at you. Just because you're there, they're the only targets they have, and so is he. That's 5 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Where's that athletics check last time, Poe?
Okay. So, let's see. The first one is going to be against Electra. That is a 20 to hit. That's 8 points of damage. Minus 8. Then against Keothi, that... Oh, wow. That's a natural 20 against Keothi, and that is 20 points of damage.
Holy shit.
I swear to God.
Oh, I didn't like
if
that.
he dies, I'm
Man.
going to riot.
Bianca, that is a 15 to hit, which is a hit, and that's 7 points of
That
piercing
will do.
damage. And then
Okay.
Ashima, that is a, 13 to hit, which is a miss, I believe, right?
17 AC.
Okay. And then the last one is a 15 to hit, which is a hit on Alika. So that is, oh wow, that's 11 points of damage. Whew. Alrighty. That's fine. That's not a big deal for him. Alrighty. So that is the first round. So then Ashima, you are gestured up by Bianca. So with that, Ashima, I'd like you to make an athletics check with, actually, you're so light, Alika can, as soon as you grab onto his hand, he's just flinging you up and over. And you're so light that it's not even an issue for him to sort of lift you up and set you back down. So that one's super easy since you are so small.
I'm gonna take a position right beside him to try and help maybe deflect any crossbow bolts off of him with my deflect missiles.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh. Nice.
That is a very, very good idea. Okay, so with that then, Ashima, you are right up next to Alakai. So then who's up next? Bianca, would you go up next?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So you head up next, and then Electra and Keothi are right up there next to you. So you head up. So I'd like you to make an athletics check with advantage. However, there will be another, let's see, round of shots at the four of you. Oh, good thing that advantage there.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
Yep.
Bianca, the hit against you as you were just getting over the wall, that is a 19 to hit. Oh, God.
Oh, it does.
And that's 11 points of damage.
Shit. Okay.
But you are up
but-
and over the wall.
Well, I'm gonna stay to help because I don't know how much help they're gonna need getting Keothi up. So
It's a good point.
I'm
Okay.
gonna stay if we need help with that.
Okay, so you stay up
With-
there.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and put you right up there as you stay near the stone wall. Then we're going to go ahead and have the shot against Electra. That is a 8 to hit, which is a miss. And then finally, the shot against Keothi. That is a 10 to hit, which is a miss. Barely. Not a dexterous lady there. Okay. So, with that, then it is Electra's turn. She's reached up, able to very easily be picked up by the Leonin, by Alakai. But then we have two more shots, one at Electra and then one at Keothi. So, God, those are both 18s. So that is an 18 to Electra, and that is 5 points of damage, minus 5. And then that is an 18 to hit Keothi, and that's 8 points of damage. Oh, God. 8. Oh, yeah. Okay, but Electra is carried over, and then Keothi makes her way up to the wall. Good thing you are there, Bianca, because even though, no matter how strong Alakai is, as he goes to grab on and pull, it takes almost all of his might to yank and pull. Oh, I forgot about 2 crossbow attacks for Alakai. Let's see, it's going to be 15. Yeah, both those hit. First one, 17, second one, 22. And that is a total of about 20 damage there. You said you wanted to use deflect missiles, right? If you could.
Yeah, I was hoping I could get in the way of at least one to try and deflect it.
Okay, so the first one...
Probably not both, but...
Yeah, the first one that came towards him was a 9. Was 9 points of damage, so you could use your deflect. I'd let you use your deflect missile ability. So mark off a key point, and then roll a d10 plus 8.
If it's only 9 damage, it's 1d10 plus 8.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so then if you wanted to, you could deflect that and throw it right back.
Okay.
Oh, but that's a key point, is to do that. Okay.
That's the key point. It's just a reaction to deflect missile.
Okay.
And I want to save those for healing just in case. So I'm just gonna
Gotcha.
using my quarterstaff, kind of Avatar style, just swat it out of the air.
Okay, so crack! It's about to slam right into his chest, but you crack it out of the air. He does still take the 11 points from the other one, but he's still looking fine. He's a very hardy hardy fighter. So he picks up Keothi and pulls her, and luckily because you're there, Bianca, you are able to help, and it's not advantage, but it's just a straight roll as opposed to disadvantage. So
Hey, Chris.
Keothi is going to go ahead and make her athletics check as she tries to get up there. Okay, so the first time around, she's just scattering up the rocks, and she's just too heavy as she's moving rocks out of the way at the same speed as she's climbing up them. So that's going to be another heavy crossbow hit against her. That's a natural 1 to hit, so now Keothi's going to go ahead and get another opportunity to attempt to climb up. Athletics, normal. Oh, that was a private roll, whoops. That's a 22 though, which as you shout that, Cecily, you can just hear this roar come from Keothi, this roar! And as she just like reaches over, and you can see that Alakai sort of moves his head out of the way, and she just grabs onto a rock and moves it out of the way one after the other until it's able to be just so tall that she's able to just kind of swing her leg over it and then take a step and then begin to move and run, as she currently has like 3 arrows just kind of like stuck in her back or grazing wounds as she begins to make her way across. As now all of you have made your way across, and you begin to dart into the as you begin to dart into the forest, you can see the road fade away underneath your feet, and you can hear the sound of them chasing after you. Wait, no, chase after them, and you can hear other voices saying, no, let them go, and just this dissonance happening behind you, this conflict, and there's so much arguing behind them that you are able to get a further enough distance away that eventually the voices fade, and you feel in that moment that the imminent threat of danger is no longer there. So all of you take a moment to stop and catch your breath. You can see Johanna sort of go over to Roywyn and kneel down towards her and just say a few things to her and inspect some of the runes. And you can see Roywyn sort of press her hands onto herself. And there is this golden discharge of energy that emanates from her hands as her eyes begin to glow gold as well. And you can see some of the wounds close. And Roywyn moves over towards the rest of everyone else in this moment and says, "Is there anyone else who is hurt? I can provide some healing if it is necessary."
Likewise.
Keothi's not looking great.
I think I can.
I don't
take
feel
care of this.
awesome.
No, I will be fine. Please, tend to them first. I will be fine.
Cecily is gonna.
Sorry.
Ooh, bless you. Cecily is going to lay down on the floor in exhaustion and pull out the rest of her rose petal glow-in-the-dark chocolates and just. So these are actually chocolate. Does anyone want a chocolate?
I'll take a chocolate.
Alright, cool.
Do
Everyone-
take some
everyone-
chocolate.
Come to me. You gotta come to me. Come get the chocolate.
You make me very, very happy, Cecily.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Do monks eat chocolate? You want chocolate?
No, thank you. Or for the rest.
Okay. I'm just surrounded by people grabbing chocolate.
You can see Nadar reaches down and he says,
You know, it's been a while since I've had chocolate. It's one of those things where I don't really think it's as good as it...
and he puts the chocolate into his mouth.
Oh, never mind. It is so good.
Yeah, these are good ones. Yeah, I had one and saved the rest. I mean, I wasn't saving it for this. Fuck, but... okay.
Cecily, as you're sort of leaning down, Alakai sort of looks to the 11 of you and says,
We should not dally. We need to continue to move. They will be after us if we wait here. We should head off away from the path we were traveling, maybe an hour that way in camp. Double the patrols. We cannot have, and we cannot afford, to be ambushed in this position. I hate to be...
Did everyone move all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
I am. And Keothi tries to stand, and Alakai sort of makes his way over towards Keothi and wraps one arm underneath her shoulder and says,
You will be able to walk with me. Do not worry, I have you.
and Keothi,
Thank you.
and the two of them begin to walk a little bit away from the rest of you, just a little bit, waiting for the rest of you to join them.
How tall is Alika or Alika?
Maybe 6'7". He's quite a bit taller than even an average human, but still about 2 feet shorter than than Keothi.
Ugh, I don't want to walk, but I can. I'll walk.
I'll reach an arm down to offer to help Cecily stand up from laying down.
I'll follow Bianca and Keothi to help mend wounds.
And
Much appreciation.
I'll take Desmond's hand. I'll take it. I'll get up. But then I will walk on my own, because I'm independent. I don't need anyone's help ever.
Okay. So,
Thanks for the chocolate, Cecily.
Yeah, sure. Thank, fucking Escobar. Whatever his name was.
Bar, that's correct.
Well, thank you, Escobar.
We love
Okay.
you, Escobar. Sure. Yeah.
Bianca will eat her rock candy from Escobar as well.
Okay, so as you are making your way, you try your best to move as quietly as you can and as quickly as you can in order to get to a position where you can camp for the night. And it takes about an hour of walking as the sun slowly begins to rise, as dawn begins to come. Alakai sort of looks around and sniffs.
This place should be good. We should begin setting up. Please.
And he begins to carrying some of the supplies that you all had with you, sort of some of the stuff strapped to Keothi's back, taking some of that off initially after she had gotten over, and then begins to set up some of the tents and set up the fire. And with that, all of you reset up your camp in a very similar fashion that it was before. And you sort of sit down to rest and lick your wounds, knowing that you have traveled one additional day. There we go. And you know that hopefully one more day of eastward travel, you should be at whatever camp where this brotherhood is waiting for them at. So, as all of you sit down, getting ready to discuss who's going to take watches, that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Whew. Man.
We made it.
It was an
Woo.
exciting
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin any chance you had at becoming famous. Well, that almost sounded like an insult. Greymane or Battleborn. So, if you
I
happen
forgot about that.
if you happen to still be watching, thank you so much for hanging in there. A lot of good role play. That was some good planning and stress there at the end. I was a fan. But with that, as we do every week, we are going to go ahead and raid a channel just because that's so fun. You know, that's so fun.
Yeah.
So, as I am looking for this, I would just once again like to say thank you for watching. It is very, very nice of you to give your time to watch us play D&D. But I really hope you enjoy yourself because we definitely enjoy playing. So hopefully, you're enjoying yourself as well. So Let's see here. Let's go down to somebody. How many viewers we got right now? Also, hang around for the raid just because it's nice to be able to support these other creators. So let's see here. Let's do somebody who's like right near us. Where are we at? 12. There we are. Oh, they play in person. That's kind of fun. Oh, their overlay's kind of cool.
Crying.
Miss playing in person.
I know, me too. Okay, let's see here. Let's do somebody. Do somebody a little. Oh, these people are like playing in like virtual tabletop simulator. That's kind of fun. Oh man, I'm so indecisive. D&D night, Heroes of Enderbor, One Night Murder Maze, the New Alexandria. Yeah, we'll do this. I like virtual tabletop. It's kind of cool.
I wanted everyone to get tabletop.
It's just so expensive. Well, let's see here. Is there anybody down here using VTT? Oh, I like these guys' background. That's kind of cool. Their name is also called the Ice Holes, Rime of the Frost Maiden. So I like that. I like that joke there. Okay, so Talon Claw. That's who we're gonna raid, Talon Claw. So as we're getting ready to do this, once again, I know I've said it already a whole bunch, but thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, leave a follow, join the Discord. We'd love to have you there. We talk about D&D all the time, and we also talk about some other stuff there too. We have an entire text folder or text chat for cute-ass animals. So, you know, who doesn't want to be a part of a community that spreads cute-ass animals? So if you'd like to join that, you can hit !Discord right now, and that'll give you the link to do that. But for right now, we are going to raid this person, start that raid, and it'll be in, let's see, 6, 5. So I'm going to hit raid now. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your night. All right. Have a good one, and
Bye,
see you
everybody.
on Friday. Bye!
Woo.
Hi, everyone.
And raid now. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, let me go to their
Interface is
to their
not
thing.
as good.
Woo!
Oh, they all
Well,
have.
I like-
Oh, wait, only two of them have green screen. My bad. The ice
Can't
holes,
say.
Rime of the Frost